Belk Arena here in Davidson, North Carolina with Coach Josh Pastner. I'm Chris Lewis. VCU in Davidson. Fun matchup here in the A-10. VCU, the early 15-10 lead on the road. The Rams come in winning 4 straight after an 0-2 start to A-10 play, while Davidson, they've won 2 of 3.
Yeah, welcome in, everybody. I mean, Richmond and Dayton took our time in the pregame. We had a great pregame show. They should have get the referees to stop calling fouls late game, but this is going to be a really good one. All of VCU's made field goals to this point right now have been threes. Both teams are living and dying by the three-point line right now.
What an incredible game. Tom McCarthy on the call in Richmond. And a result in the A-10 that will certainly raise some eyebrows. Here's Max Shulga off the front of the rim, draws the foul. VCU with the lead, 15-10 or under 12 here in the first half. For those of you watching our free streaming coverage, it will conclude after the commercial break, but we will continue on CBS Sports Network. You can find us by going to cbssportsnetwork.com/channel finder. Early going in Davidson, VCU, the 15-10 lead. Welcome courtside along with former NCAA champion, 2-time conference coach of the year, Josh Pastner. I'm Chris Lewis. Fun matchup, energy in the building so far.
Great energy, great to be with you, and welcome all the fans into this game. Let me tell you something, the A-10 is a heck of a basketball league. It's a big-time basketball league, and these two teams are playing at a high level tonight. VCU's it's an important game for VCU. They want to hang around with Dayton and Richmond. Both teams are living and dying by the 3 tonight.
It's time for the AT&T fast analysis, and for that we focus in on guards. First for Davidson and Grant Huffman.
Yeah, Huffman was outstanding, awesome, incredible against St. Louis. The last time out had a great win against St. Louis. He's a kind of do-everything type of player. Score, rebound, shoot it, and then Bama Seal has been literally shooting at the ocean, standing on the pier these last couple games. He can't miss, and he comes in the day off the bench, literally standing on the pier, shooting it directly in the ocean. That's his viewpoint, looking at the rim. That's why he's making all these shots. And then Davidson, missing Skogman right now, Chris. He has a boot, he has a foot injury, and it really changes Davidson's offense just strictly based on how they play, what they do with their 5-man, the amount of motion and shooting that they have. Not having him's a big, big loss for Davidson tonight.
David Skogman, 47% three-point shooter, standing at 6'10". So that really, as you mentioned, Coach, changes what they do on the offensive side of the floor. Max Shulga at the free throw line, an 88% free throw shooter, misses the first. Utah State transfer came over with Ryan Odom in his first year now with VCU.
Yeah, Shulga can really play, can score, can shoot it, start out the game, hit a 3. But you can see VCU's length. They got really good length at all 5 positions defensively.
You can see tightly pressuring defensively against that motion offense. Connor Kachera doesn't care. Attacks the rim, and he's a 3 for 5 already from the floor. An aggressive start.
With Skogman out, a guy like Kachera's got to step up and fill that void offensively, and he's doing that. And what happens is because of Davidson's motion, VCU fell asleep for a split second, and it gave Kachera an opportunity for the drive right to the rim.
Shulga's cut off, shot clock at just 7. Zeb Jackson, who's back in the lineup for VCU after missing a couple of games with a back injury. Bama Seal finally cools off, misses a 3.
First time he's missed in a long time, but you can see the penetration there by Zeb Jackson to get in the paint. For the fans who tuned in now, listen, Davidson, 3 different segments the way they play. First 10 seconds, second 10, and third 10 is how they differentiate the offense, and they're good in all 3.
So you mean by the shot clock there. So the first 10 seconds of the shot clock, middle 10, and then we're in the back 10 now. Teardrop by Brazee won't go.
Yep, they're counting. That's how they play. They try to get it in transition. They don't have anything. The middle 10's a lot of movement, cutting, back screen. Then the final 10, they're hoping you fall asleep at the end and they get a basket, either a 3 or a layup on that action.
That'll be fun to track as we move on here. So this is the first 10. And right now, they're slowing it up. There's actually a whistle down low. We'll go to the keys to the game. That's brought to you by Fresh Pets.
Yeah, I really think for this evening, for VCU to win the game, they've got to be disciplined defensively in all 3 segments. The first 10, the middle 10, and the last 10 defensively when they're guarding Davidson. And for Davidson, a huge key is transition defense. They've got to make VCU play within the half court. VCU is an explosive shooting team and can really push it up the floor, and they have multiple guys that can make threes.
How many years has it been the key against VCU is to keep them out of transition? Yeah. Feels like an annual thing. Logan has it poked. Great reach by Jason Nelson from the baseline to knock it away and out of bounds.
You can see right here, really good weak side defense by Nelson, and he just got his hands down there quickly. He actually got a good angle. He had a great angle on there. Logan had a layup, but it was great weak side defense there by Nelson to come and poke it out. That's those little guards. That's what they do.
They're pesky. Bairstow leads the team in assists. A lot of them to Shulga. And he knocks down the 3. Max Shulga, 38% three-point shooter at volume.
Bairstow's not a guy that's going to just break you down off the dribble and get in the paint and blow by you like a Zeb Jackson, but he's so cerebral, knows how to play, knows how to find the right man, engages the defense, finds the open guy, just like he did there with Shulga.
Largest lead early on for VCU. It's cut with Grant Huffman penetrating his way inside.
You can see in Davidson's initial 10 seconds, if you watch it, they're trying to attack the elbow in secondary offense and looking into play low post or play behind. Then they get into their motion, their curls, and their constant screening, in which they allowed the drive by Huffman because you're so much worried about weak side help when all that cutting and movement's happening.
And they get the stop on the defensive end after the Bairstow floater won't fall. Huffman draws the contest. And he'll head to the free throw line. VCU getting it going from distance.
Yeah, they've been on a fire. I mean, just really good looks. And I mean, look, that's good defense, just better offense. But that's what VCU does. And Mamaseal's been as hot as anybody in the entire country over these 3 games. And one of the things is you've got to get back in transition. And even in the half court, you've got to find them early. And you've got to have a stick hand literally at all points to really take the 3 out. Because they are a dynamic three-point shooting team right now, VCU, and they have good size. They're not small guards. Nelson's their smallest guy, but all across the board, they've got really good size from wings and bigs.
11 of the 13 players on VCU's roster, 6'4" or taller. We were pointed out the size at every position. Huffman splits the free throws. Now, what's the challenge as a coach when you're going up against a guy like Bairstow who stands at 6'8" but initiates the offense?
And he can see over the defense offensively.
Great bounce pass. Oh! To the wall! And back with the slam. Incredible.
Great pass there by Bairstow to find him. And the wall's got a 49.5-inch vertical. That's 4 times my vertical. He can jump out of the gym.
Is your vertical your height?
I think my vertical's even lower than my height. That's why I never dunked it. I only just shot 3s.
Foul on the baseline. Toby Lawal, 41 of his 61 made field goals this year, just like that, dunks. Advantage on the road. College basketball on CBS Sports Network is presented by Fresh Pet.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Fresh Pet. It's not dog food, it's food. And by AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
One of the many fun angles of this game is that these 2 head coaches are sons of former Division I head coaches who've had a lot of success, and they're both in the building here. Dave Odom, former coach at Wake Forest, went to the Elite 8 with Tim Duncan. Bob McKillop, legendary coach here at Davidson.
Hey, let me tell you this. Dave Odom, Bob McKillop, legendary coaches, incredible coaches. I guarantee you, if you ask both guys, Dave Odom will say it helps when you have Tim Duncan. Bob McKillop says it helps when you have Steph Curry. And I bet you their sons would like to have those guys as well, too, at some point.
Now, is it more stressful as a father watching your son coach or you coaching yourself?
Way more stressful for the father watching the son coach. There's no doubt about it.
I believe your dad was a high school coach, right?
He coached a lot in summer basketball, and it was around basketball his whole life. And
Gachera with 3 on the shot clock. Logan goes over the back and commits the foul as Lawal boxes out. So you take a look at the current Division I head coaches who are the fathers of coaches, most career wins. And Bob McKillop, 634. You can see him towards the middle. Dave Odom, 405. That's a great graphic from our team here on CBS Sports Network.
Great job by the graphic department to put this up. And how many, look at these coaches. It's incredible. And all their sons are doing excellent too. Both these guys here, Coach Odom, Coach McKillop, they are elite coaches. They're tremendous coaches, not only in the A-10, but in the National Conference, which is all college basketball. They do a great job with their teams and their programs. They're outstanding.
Their last foul on Logan, by the way, his second. Kwani misses on the 3.
Which is a rare miss. He doesn't miss a lot. He can really shoot it.
He missed his first 17 threes this year. 18 for 25 since. Great ball fake into the lane. Everything but the bucket from Bobby Durkin.
Transition defense. They got to get back and build the wall. You can see VCU there really trying to attack him off the miss. Davidson was back and was able to get set and force a turnover there by Nelson,
who stepped on the baseline. Yeah, we mentioned there, just missed that last 3. Coach, you said it was a rare miss. Indeed. He started the year, again, 0 for 16. And then having that kind of... Now, as a coach, when a player is 0 for 16, how do you tell him to keep shooting?
Well, they obviously know he can shoot it, so you've got to let him be able to shoot it. They might have changed what he was eating in pregame meal. I don't know. I mean, there was something, whatever it was. It's working right now, but he is as hot as anybody in the entire country, as is Bamasiel. I mean, those two guys are, talk about the gravity that they pull defensively on defenses have to find them. I mean, really, their range starts when they cross half court. You can see Davidson's there, constant curls, single curls, double curls, staggers, hard to guard. Not a lot of ball screens by Davidson. Again, you can see the staggered curl, constant curls, less ball screens, a lot of the screens with off the ball.
Kwani picked up his second foul. Lawal gets the steal for VCU. Nelson, no look. Blocked shot at the summit. Reed Bailey at 6'10", a sophomore from Massachusetts. Huffman does what he does. Get into the lane to set up teammates. Again, a freshman connects.
Huffman got into the paint, used his pivot foot, and usually Skogman's a trail post on that. Him being out, Durkin steps behind, finds him behind, and hits the 3.
A deep one from Shulga. Rebound out of bounds. Davidson possession. How about this defensive effort?
Really good effort there. Got it all. Great job by the officials not to call a foul. And then you can see him penetrating, pivot plays behind the defense. People get sucked in, and there's Durkin for an open 3.
Freshman shooting 37% from 3. Set his high school single season record for made threes in a season.
Great pass.
Reward the big guard for the defense.
They don't set a lot of ball screens, Davidson, but when they do, that's what happens because you get stretched out worried about the three-point line, and Huffman's a great passer, found him underneath.
Just saw the foul difficulties, 2 fouls on Davidson's Logan. Of course, Skogman, who's our starting center, not available with the injury. Despite that, Davidson has a chance to go in front.
Actually, with Bailey right now as their 5, it's caused more issues than when Logan's at the 5.
Yeah, another guy who has the ability to space. Well, we saw him on the defensive side get that block shot. Second chance for Davidson. Huffman draws the foul on Bairstow.
So, Chris, because with Skogman, who's not playing tonight, which is a big loss for Davidson because of his foot. There's a boot on his right foot. But because of him not playing, you put in Logan at the 5. He's not the shooter that Skogman is. Now, if you take him out, and you almost play smaller with Bailey at the 5, you're back to sort of similarity to what Skogman brings by the stretching of the floor, by the way they play and the motion type of cutting and screening. It stretches the defense really, and a lot of spacing for Davidson on the offensive end.
Coach, you just saw that substitution as well. Shulga back in, Bairstow to the bench. He has 2 fouls. The player averages 5 assists, 11.5 points per game. He has to sit down. Throw the lane. Elevation from Hunter Adam. Timeout, VCU. A 10-2 Wildcat run. Flying through, what a dunk by Adam. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Davidson on a 10-2 run had the 1-point lead at home against VCU. Atlantic 10, this conference is really heating up. It's a game on CBS Sports Network before us. What a result. Richmond at home stormed the court. They knock off Dayton. And then the country's longest active winning streak no longer active. Now VCU right on the top tier's tail.
Let me tell you something. The Atlantic 10's a great basketball league. And when they talk about power conferences, the Atlantic 10 is no different than the Big East as in terms, it doesn't have the football. It's a basketball-centric league. They're a power conference basketball-wise. They have great coaches, great players. This is a high-level basketball league.
15 teams, various styles, great locations. And these 2 teams putting on a show in the early going in Davidson, North Carolina. Shulga, line drive, short. Bailey skies for the board and draws a foul. How about Reed Bailey? You said playing small, but he's 6'10", he's lanky, he's skinny. But he skies for those boards.
Yeah, when I mean small ball, you're right. He's not small in size, but that's not his, him being at the 5, because with Skogman out and Logan out, Bailey's probably a little more comfortable on the perimeter than in the post. So you're playing 5, in a sense, 5 perimeter guys. Even though he's 6'10", he's more comfortable facing up, seeing the floor, and there's an offensive foul. Now look, both teams are in the bonus, or actually Davidson's the bonus the rest of the way through, even though they got a little foul trouble. They've got to convert on those. Those are big free throws. You got to take advantage.
Gorgeous spin by Bamasil. For Kwani rattles it down from distance.
The gravity that Bamasil had on the drive, and then they lost vision on Kwani, and he only needs just a quick daylight to get the shot off. That was their first basket in over 4 minutes. It's a long time. They went scoreless. That's why those free throws was a big miss previously by Davidson.
Missing the front end. Coaches say that's like a turnover.
It's a 5-point swing. What happened?
Kwani again. So nice. We say it twice.
Yes. Incredible shooter right now. He's shooting as well as anybody in the country. Those free throws on that front end of that 1-and-1, think about it. It's now turned into an 8-point swing because of that. VCU's on a 6-0 run based on those 2 missed free throws.
Brzee in the lane. Tough to finish amongst the VCU bigs.
Think about basketball. It's such an energy and momentum. All energy and momentum was to Davidson. On the foul, they get there. They missed the front end of the 1-and-1, which is really an over 2 from the free throw line. And VCU comes down 2 quick threes. Totally changes the momentum and energy and dynamic of the game.
Zeb Jackson flicks the wrist on a 3. Bailey secures the rebound. One of the things I've liked observing from my spot, the energy from these coaches. They're both really demonstrative in signaling their defenses that are operating in front of them. Kuchera sneaks it up and in, navigating the baseline.
Kuchera has had multiple drives to the basket in the middle 10 and the last 10 offensively, off of their motion offense, of the breakdown by the weak side by VCU, because you're worried about all the cutting and screening. Kuchera's got to continue to step up with Skogman's absence.
Shulga yo-yos, quick first step, but his pass knocked away. Durkin was the first to get a hand on it, rewarded with the touch from the corner, off the front of the rim. VCU transition coach with Bamasil. Barrels into the defender, it's a blocking foul, as Kuchera is guilty for the personal. Kwani getting it rolling from distance for VCU. Couple of triples, similar spot, same results. But Connor Kuchera, senior, transfer from William & Mary. Fun first half, VCU leads by 3. Coming up on AT&T at the half. Brent Stover, Shelvin Mack, John Rothstein, Seth Davis. Get you caught up on all the highlights from around college basketball. What a day it has been today. It's coming up on AT&T at the half.
John, Sheldon, Seth, give the A-10 some love. Give the A-10 some love, please.
You know they will. They'll give Connor Kuchera probably some love.
Absolutely, he deserves it. You can see him on these drives here. Because Davidson, on the amount of movement and cutting that they do on the weak side, here was just a one more off the double. But because of the movement that Davidson does on the backside, you have a breakdown, you have an opportunity to drive a closeout, and then the weak side help is not there. The weak side help, we like to call it the midline or the split line, which is from the point of rim to the point of rim of both baskets. If you're not over there kind of shrinking the floor, that's an opportunity for those drives to happen.
Davidson does a great job of putting the defense in tough positions. You've highlighted that movement all first half long. Coach Josh Pastner, Chris Lewis here in Davidson, North Carolina, Belk Arena. Bama Seal off the screen, might have been hit on the elbow, no foul. As the ball goes sailing out of bounds.
You know what? I want to give it. I've been hard on officials being on this seat because I can talk about officials and not worry about getting a technical reprimanded.
No tease over here.
But what I would tell you is great no call because he stuck his foot out. Sometimes they'll get a call on that. Really good job by the officials not calling a defensive foul there.
There's that curl, Kuchera, and there's a foul, body contact, as Connor Kuchera hits the ground hard.
Chris, you can see here again, this not only is it the curl, but this, and you can see the post there by Bailey, but the speed of the cut by Kuchera. So it's not just the cutting, the velocity of the cut to the rim sucks things in, and then Bailey's post-up offense was forced people to move over, so you fall asleep on the backside, and here comes Kuchera on a tight curl with such intensity, which allows him to get to the rim.
With Kuchera at the line, it's the first. It goes to your point. I feel like Matt McKillop's teams, it sort of lull you into a false sense of security. They'll be stationary, maybe even hands on knees, and then all of a sudden a quick cut around the screen and a curl, and they're at the rim.
You know, I almost call it like they're really good actors or gamemanship in a sense, because you think, they're not going to cut, and then all of a sudden they kind of walk you away or look the other way or kind of picking their nose, you know, like, what's going on? And all of a sudden they're just breaking away and they're cutting. They just know how to play. Coach McKillop does an incredible job. Obviously, he learned from one of the greats in his father, just like Coach Odom learned from one of the greats in his dad. But being able to do that and teach that is a real skill and art for Coach McKillop to do that.
That would have been the 8th made 3 of the game for VCU. Only one two-pointer. That was a dunk by Lawal.
You can see there VCU's transition defense. Lawal was a 5-on-4 advantage VCU, and you can see his arm length really made it tough for them not to get to the elbow. Davidson's objective on the offensive secondary is to get to the elbow initially.
Kuchera's in double figures. Davidson is 8-1 when he scores 10 points or more.
You know what? It just shows you Kuchera is stepping up with Skogman out. Davidson's on a 6-0 run right now, and a lot of that is Kuchera. He's picking up the slack with Skogman out. He's getting an opportunity to shine and step up, and he's taking full advantage of it.
And they work the 2-for-1. Davidson, if they get a board, could have the last look. Bama Seal to the right. There's the rebound by Spadone. 10 seconds.
Go screen there, slip screen off by Durkin.
3 left, Huffman. There's the reach-in foul. That's team foul number 9, so the 1-and-1.
Excuse me, that was Kuchera on the slip screen. If you notice there, the speed by Kuchera there on the screen, you don't see it there. They cut it off early, but Kuchera came and sprinted out. So they call that a go screen or a slip screen, and then that allowed Huffman to have a little bit of an edge because the defender takes a glance with his right eye going that direction, which allows Huffman to get a little drive and then get to the free throw line.
A ghost screen because you think it's there, but it's not.
And he slips it out right before he sets the screen. So the terminology they use, ghost or sometimes slip. but the defender guarding the ball looks for a quick second because he thinks he's going to get screened, and that allows the angle for Huffman to drive right to that elbow area.
Hits both free throws here. He's worked a lot with assistant coach Will Regal to work on the form a little bit more. He has altered that over his time at Davidson. It's much better than it used to be.
And you can see here Davidson's in their press, just trying to slow it down and keep him in front of him with 3 seconds to go.
And Shulga well short, and that'll do it for the first 20 minutes. Davidson playing some of their best basketball of the year. They've won 2 of their last 3 after an 0-3 start to A10 play. Had the 3-point lead at half. Davidson 30, VCU 27. We'll send you to Brent Stover and Company in our New York studio for AT&T at the half after these messages. Let's take a look at the game summary brought to you by AT&T. For VCU, only 1 2-point field goal in that first half. They made 7 from deep, while Davidson, a team that more highly relies on the 3-ball, only 3 made threes in the opening 20 minutes. With Coach Josh Pastner, my name is Chris Lewis. All right, so 5 lead changes, 1 tie in that first half, competitive. But what did Davidson do to come out on top in that first half?
Well, you look at it, offensive rebounds. They had 7 offensive rebounds. They were 14 points in the paint to VCU's 2. And Kuchera was the MVP of the first half. Skogman, who's their starting 5-man, who can shoot the ball, do all kinds of things, and is a key cog in their offense, is not playing tonight has a boot on his foot due to a foot injury. But you can see the offensive rebounds here by Davidson, keeping balls alive. The 50-50 balls, the loose balls, second effort possessions, just by keeping things alive, long shots equal long rebounds, has given Davidson life and has allowed them to be able to, at the end of the half, they ended on an 8-0 run to end the half. That's why they have a 3-point lead.
You can see the pace of play this season. They are one of the slower paced teams in college basketball that have played true to their pace.
Right now, Chris, the pace favors Davidson. It's in Davidson's favor. And I just want to give again a talk leaving about Kuchera, because with Skogman not playing, with his foot and his right foot in a boot, they needed somebody to step up in his absence. And life is all about opportunities, and Kuchera has stepped up in that opportunity in this first half and has been really good. Skogman's a heck of a player. I mean, the way he can shoot the ball, you got to guard him all over the floor. So him not playing is a big loss for Davidson, but Kuchera has stepped up.
On the flip side, VCU, a team that's getting healthier, more full. Zeb Jackson played in that first half. Remember, he missed the last 2 games for VCU with a back injury. Of course, Bairstow is injured at the beginning of the season as well. Kwani in and out in Davidson's first possession of half 2.
Now they're back with Logan at the 5, so he had some foul trouble early. I actually thought they were the best with Bailey there, but you can see the flex cut there. Fell asleep a little bit on the backside with the motion offense, and he got a basket right at the rim.
Kuchera tallies another. Nelson long on a 3, and guess who? Kuchera gets the board.
Outstanding hit box out by Logan, number 15 for Davidson, keeping Furman off the glass there, because he's a great offensive rebounder, and when he gets that position, Logan, big time job keeping him off the glass.
Now we're under 10, so we are tracking the shot clock in its last third. How does Davidson execute here? Kuchera, of course!
I love opportunities. Life, that's what I don't want to repeat myself. People think I do, but yeah, I do. He's got 17 points. He's taking full advantage of Skogman being out. They needed somebody to step up, and that's what he's doing right now.
Largest lead for Davidson. Sean Bairstow, turnaround off glass, had the spin to get it in.
Bairstow wanted an and one. He thought he got bumped on that block, and that's a good play there. They needed that basket just to slow the crowd down a little bit. It's great atmosphere here tonight, and it kind of stopped Davidson's momentum coming out of halftime.
Saw the note there. Kuchera has half of Davidson's points. Huffman, 10 to shoot. Bailey bullies and is fouled. Kwani gets called for his third.
You can see here, just on the curls, watch the curls, watch the backside, and then you can see all that movement allows VCU to have to kind of hug on the backside, which allows Kuchera to get to the rim.
Reed Bailey, sophomore from Harvard, Massachusetts. 6'10", 210 pounds, and a feathery touch. So, Coach, we've talked about it. First 10 seconds, middle 10 seconds, and the last 10 seconds of the shot clock. How does Davidson do it?
That's what Davidson does. They play in 3 different segments. In the first 10, they really try to get in secondary and really attack the elbows and play to the box or the first person down or play behind. The second 10's all the motion, the curling, the screening, the back cutting, the flex cuts, and then the final 10 is in their late shot clock actions, hoping that you've worn down from having a defensive undisciplined error allows you for a basket cut or a drive to get to the rim.
A lot of time in the lane for Bamasil, got out just in time. Baristow slices, high floater, no. Senior from Ohio, Grant Huffman at the controls. Kuchera seeing 2, undeterred, but Bamasil gets the last laugh. VCU down 7. They've won 4 straight after an 0-2 start to league play.
You can see transition defense there by Davidson. Did a nice job to build the wall. Durkin did a nice job on Bamasil. Great penetration there by Nelson.
Nelson Venmos to Bairstow off the front of the rim. Rebound deflected out of bounds. It'll stay here.
Watch the transition defense here. So they're back, they're talking, they've loaded to the ball. And then watch Durkin move his feet. Get his chest, cuts him off, and they're back and built a wall so they can't get that open transition. VCU is one of the best, if not the best in the A-10 in transition offense. This is a big key for Davidson, is transition defense, eliminating them from getting easy baskets from in the rim or from 3.
So making them have to execute into half court, but Shulga does just that. The Utah State transfer.
Shulga's really good, can really score, can score at all areas on the floor, even in the block there. Good out of bounds call there by Coach Odom to get a bucket, to get it to Shulga in the basket. Again, you can see it in the offensive glass right now. Davidson is just beating VCU everything on the offensive glass.
Bailey playing volleyball to draw the foul.
You can see here out of the base out of bounds, it was a flex cut screen into a down screen. They got Shulga at the block where they wanted to, and he had too easy of a shot for him. Good call there by Coach Odom, but on the other end here, Davidson has continued to do what they did in the first half of setting the tone. Loose balls, 50-50 balls, because that's what offensive rebounds are. Loose balls and 50-50 balls are up in the air for anybody to get, and Davidson is pulling away with those right now, and it's given them life, energy, just that edge they needed to find a way to have this lead at this point, missing one of their best players, Skogman, not playing.
Nelson, second foul, checks out. Zeb Jackson back in. To the made free throw. Davidson brings on Hunter Adam. And you mentioned those 50-50 balls, loose balls. Here at home, Davidson has not won an A-10 game yet this season in this building. I feel like those type of plays get this crowd engaged.
Absolutely. It's a great crowd right now, great atmosphere. And the crowd appreciates when you win those loose ball battles.
Huffman leads the team in scoring, rebounding, and assist, Coach.
And you can see Huffman there probing into that elbow on that secondary. He's trying to, their first initial things to get to the elbow, and now they're coming in their curls, constant curls.
Kuchera, that one was tipped. Bamasil got a fingertip on it.
Got great length. VCU's defense, they have really good length in all 5 spots defensively.
The wall, a lot of his field goals, dunks. Didn't get a chance to dunk that time. Instead of reaching foul called on Reed Bailey. Davidson ties their largest lead, 7 points early second half. The William & Mary transfer and former CAA Rookie of the Year, Connor Kacheras, had the standout game, which is the subject of our AT&T Fast Analysis.
Yeah, he's really stepped up in a lot of multiple ways, having a high-level game, making shots from the perimeter, getting baskets right at the rim, his cutting. I love the speed of his cut that he's had. I mean, there's no slowness on his cut. He has velocity to that rim. On the other hand, he's got to stay in his lane. When I say stay in his lane, don't try to play any hero ball. He's at a high level tonight. Stay in your lane and just let it continue to come to you. Right here, I thought he was trying to get it. He got a great flare screen. He popped back, but Bam still got his shot with his arm length, got it blocked. That's the right time right there. Maybe give a shot fake and drive him. So he's just got to continue to stay within himself. Stay in that lane, play the right way, don't get shot happy, let the ball keep finding you because of your cutting, and you're going to continue to do what you do and take full advantage, which he has to this point, of stepping up and being a big-time player with Spokman out.
The extended 16-4 run for Davidson. You saw where they're taking advantage both at the floor and the free throw line. Shot clock down to 8. Jackson flicks, jab step, Shulga shoots, short. And Bailey picks up the rebound.
You know what? That was good defense by Davidson. Zeb Jackson is their best guy to get into the paint with their speed and how fast he can get in there. But they closed that floor. They shrunk the floor. That picture was tight, and there was nowhere for him to penetrate to suck the defense to kick out.
We've seen that baseline cut more than a few times here tonight. VCU deflects that one out of bounds.
Chris, there's a lot of times those curls are happening on one side, and then all of a sudden they reject the curl cut and cut underneath for the baseline type of action cut.
Ryan Odom's team spent a lot of time earlier today at practice shoot-around trying to simulate what Davidson would do on offense. Late shot clock for the Wildcats. Huffman penetrates high off glass and in.
Two things there. They're back to playing sort of small ball with Bailey at the 5, if you've noticed. And then second there, Bailey got away with maybe a moving screen at the last second, changed his angle, and forced VCU, kind of got screwed up on the coverage and got himself right to the rim.
And there's an offensive foul. Huffman takes the charge on Shulga.
Watch Bailey here, changes his angle at the last seconds, gets lucky there wasn't an offensive foul, but caused him the ability to get just an angle enough to get to the rim. And then watch here, Huffman beats Shulga to the spot, and he gets an offensive foul. That's just the energy right now that they're playing with. VCU's got to score. You know, they started the half at 27. They've only got 4 points in the first 6 minutes of this half. They can't keep having these droughts scoring in this game, otherwise Davidson's going to start pulling away.
Huffman with Bailey flying for the offensive rebound.
Again, on the glass, Chris, that offensive rebounding.
Ball movement, station to station passing. 6 to shoot, ripped away. Nelson. Just joining us, it was Davidson finishing the first half on an 8-0 run. VCU only 4 points so far in the second half. Bamisile glides to the rim and gets the tough bucket.
So Davidson right there, I thought Bailey over-dribbled, and he got this. Nelson got the steal, and then Bamisile, because of his gravity of his shooting, you were flying on the closeout, he attacked the closeout, made the right play and got to the rim and stopped kind of their scoring drought.
Puts a pause to the Wildcat run. Comfortable with the shot clock under 10. And that time it's a turnover. Spadone gives it away. And then a foul in transition. VCU upset. They wanted that one to continue to play. They would have had a dunk.
I think for the last 2 possessions, Chris, they've over-dribbled where they've tried to get a little bit deeper. Deeper's not always better. You have to almost look at the free throw line in a sense of the yield sign and not get so deep. You can see the turnover there, stop the fast break. But both times, the last 2 times, it was an over dribble. One extra dribble forced that turnover, kind of a back tap, where Davidson's so good when they're just moving the ball like a hot potato, like you're a hot stove. Boom, boom, boom. and not dribble as much.
Hot stove and hot shooting. Story for Davidson, late first half and early second half.
Outstanding play there by VCU. Great action, great shot, great look. You can live with that all day.
Jackson with a steal, another Davidson turnover. Jackson lays it in. So the Rams and Coach Ryan Odom happy to have Jackson back. Bobble for Brazil, who goes reverse.
The last few possessions, it looked like the old VCU, pressing defensive traps all over the floor. They're trying to change the pace, the tempo of the game right now, trying to get it back to VCU's advantage. Right now, it's Davidson's advantage.
Well, VCU finding more of a rhythm on the offensive side. Christian Furman's first basket.
You can see right there, great job on just building a wall, keeping it tight in transition defense.
Freshman Durkin cut off. Ball fake. Brazil to the lane. Nice through.
And Logan, number 15 on Davidson, sealed Furman to not allow him to get to the rim to block the shot. So even though it doesn't show up as an assist in the box score, he deserves an assist for his seal to not allow the shot blocker to be there.
The Marcin Gortat screen.
Yes.
Preventing the shot blocker. A short-handed Davidson team at home with the lead with college basketball on CBS Sports Network. Davidson is led throughout the second half, up 7. Tomorrow at noon Eastern, get ready for a women's hoops triple header, tipping off with some A10 action. St. Bonaventure and Dayton go head-to-head, followed by 21st ranked Creighton facing Seton Hall. Then at 4, South Dakota State hosts Oral Roberts. Catch it all here on CBS Sports Network. Davidson does so much well executing on offense. And Coach, another example.
Absolutely, and you watch Logan here. I mean, just a little thing that doesn't show up in the box score. You can see Logan right here sealing Furman with his seal. Just got into his body with his legs, took out his thighs, and then you can see right here the finish on the rim. Because of that seal, it was a seal screen, whatever you want to call it. It's really an assist to get him a basket. It doesn't show up in the box score, but those plays are why Davidson's up 7.
That looks a lot like the Chiefs' offensive line blocking for Isaiah Pacheco more than anything else.
You're right on that. And it's sort of a football mentality on that to do that. But if you saw it when he did it, he had both palms up. He took his rear and sat on his thighs. It was textbook. It was perfect, and it allowed a straight line drive. You took out the shot blocker who couldn't be there to block the shot.
Of course, Chiefs at Ravens, 3 p.m. Eastern, the AFC Championship on CBS.
I'll be watching that. That's going to be an incredible game.
Man, are you kidding me? 2 of the best quarterbacks and 2 great defenses. Logan's block leads to the 3, but it's shorts from Durkin. Another offensive rebound for Davidson.
They're plus 15 on him on the glass right now, just overall.
Dribble handoffs, back screens, dropping it off. Logan underneath, off glass, won't fall, and then over the back. Foul on Logan. That's number 3.
Watch the block here by Logan. Just really clean, got up. Jackson, what happens is Jackson did not get his body into Logan. So because of the size advantage, if you don't get your butt into his legs, you allow that space that allows him to get up to block the shot. Now, they've taken Logan out, Davidson, and they bring in Bailey. So now they're back to Bailey at the 5, which means a little bit smaller ball. Even though he's 6'10", more stretch shooting on the perimeter.
He's our starting 4 instead of their 5 with Skoltman out. He's now moving to the 5. A whistle away from the ball. Shrugs shoulders on the side of Davidson.
You can see there on that ball screen, they ran like a roll replace horns type of action, they call it. And on the sprint to the rim by Furman, they chucked the cutter, and that's where the foul was called. You've got to give him. You cannot get in the way of the cutter in a direct line, per the rules. not always called that way, but technically it should be. Good call by the official. I can't believe how confidently the officials this much today.
It's different in this chair, isn't it?
Yeah, some other times I can get on them.
Jackson, long ball. Zeb Jackson, a 28% three-point shooter. That's a big make for VCU to pull within 4. They're playing off of Bailey, who's operating at that top of the arc. Instead, it's a 3, Spadone off, but another loose ball foul on VCU to give Davidson second life on the possession.
Did you see the quickness of that ball move? Boom, boom, watch that. It was from top to wing, the speed of the pass, and then Durkin's there, we call it a slice position, a wedge. You look at the ball move, it doesn't stick. 0.5, boom, boom, boom. And then there's Durkin on the slice of the wedge, however you want to look at it, and then just Jackson was rooting him out. Good call again, but it was offensive rebounding is all about anticipation, which he anticipated on the shot, which allowed him to get advantage offense on that glass.
First foul on Jackson. Durkin, that's Quanti, gets it off glass. Durkin is 5.
I sweat more here than when I was coaching. I mean, goodness gracious.
It's different. And being able to appreciate the efforts of both teams
That's
instead
exactly
of
right.
locking it on just one. Bairstow initiates and draws the foul. And so on Brzee is second.
You can watch the curl cuts. See, do you see all that? Can we back that up? I wish we could back that up for a second, but you can see the curl cuts on the weak side that took away the help side defense, which then allowed the drive to happen because everyone was worried about the backside of the multiple curls and the staggers.
So it's just reading the defense and knowing what motion is best. Nelson bricks it. Huffman lasers. Durkin launches. Bullseye. Back to a 9-point lead for Davidson.
Broken play there. Transition. If you know, they had Quanti fell on the floor. They probed to the elbow, threw the skip pass to Durkin. Hits the open 3.
Nelson missed one a possession ago. Perfect on that attempt from deep.
I saw Durkin in high school. Nobody was recruiting him, and I was like, man, this kid can play. Why isn't any? And I was like, we should offer it. Well, this is when I was at Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
And then I said, man, this kid is good. He's going to be a good player. And everyone's like, he can't do this. I said, but he can shoot the ball. There's something to be said for shooting the ball.
Nobody in his high school made more threes in a season than Bobby Durkin, the Illinois product.
He's only a freshman, and he can really, really shoot it. And I tell you what, when you shoot it and you can make shots, it covers a lot of sins in the game of basketball. Sometimes people get so focused. We all do this as coaches when you're evaluating what people can't do. However, when someone can flat out shoot the ball, that's just a special thing to do. Now, you got to be able to shoot it in game time, but he's going to be a really good player here at Davidson. One, how they play, and two, because of his shooting.
1-1 for VCU on a foul 90 feet away on the wall. And I mean, this is the place for players who can shoot it. Of course, look up at our right, you see that Curry 30 jersey up there.
Yeah, he can shoot it.
Yeah.
He can shoot it. You ever seen him in warm-ups? Like, people come just to watch him in warm-ups.
It's
an
its own
incredible show. But I want to say this right now. Davidson, or VCU, excuse me, is hanging around. And they haven't played particularly well. Now, Davidson's played really well, but VCU's hanging around enough to keep it within striking distance.
Just a 4-point game on the wall. Pogo sticks it back. That is 7 straights for VCU.
You can see they're really focused on transition defense when they have that trail post defensively to really stop that elbow drive in that secondary break to play 5-on-4 advantage defense. Keep them out of the elbow on that first initial 10 seconds.
Final 10 seconds. Beautiful fade off the back of the rim from Durkin. Bairstow, rough dribble, and ripped up. Bobby Durkin on the deck. Tie up, Arrow gives it to Davidson. But VCU's the team that's on a run, and Toby Lawal running the floor. A rare non-dunk. College basketball on CBS Sports Network. Yeah, they've added to the atmosphere here at Davidson. Belk Arena is popping. Davidson's lead is down to 2. They left them at home, I don't know. But here on Davidson, take a look at this action.
You can see the movement. So if you, right there in the freeze, you see that. Look at the action on the backside. All this action on the backside right here forces VCU to have to really focus while the drive is happening. And there's no weak side help because everyone's focused on the backside of that movement. Constant movement without the ball. So much of the game of basketball today is ball screen, ball screen, ball screen with the ball. Davidson does as good a job as anybody, not only in the A-10, but nationally, at playing without the basketball. And right there was an example. You fall asleep a little bit on the weak side, and then there's the drive. Matt
McKillop designing this offense, but it's VCU, team that scored 7 straight, getting right back in this.
You see, they call it a monster, which is a double team. There's a double right into the rim, right to the block there.
Kuchera goes reverse. 19 points for Connor Kuchera.
Kuchera got to the block, used his up fake, got down in a great base, and then used the rim as a protector by playing it underneath. Wow.
The wall. It was put on a platter by Sean Bairstow. Back to a 2-point game. Both of these teams have had the close games experience and a lot of heartbreak too. 9 games for Davidson decided by 5 points or less. 5 of the 7 losses for VCU by 4 points or fewer. Bailey knocked away. Qualley got his hands exactly where it needed to be.
The difference on that possession last time, when they drove it, they threw it to Bailey. If it was Skogman, he was wide open for a 3, but Bailey turned it down and drove it because he's more comfortable doing that.
And Shulga gives VCU the lead.
Give Coach Odom and VCU staff and their players, this is their first lead, I think, first lead since 27-26. They give them credit for hanging around, playing the right way, and just chipping away at the lead.
And they completed the comeback. Blink of an eye. Locking down on this end, force another miss.
Another offensive rebound too. You can see here coming off Bairstow on the dribble handoff. They call that like a zoom action. 2 guys go to the ball, and then there he is for the dunk. And then you can see here, look, his hands down. Bailey put his hands down on the jab fake. So Shulga jab faked him, and Bailey put his hands down below the ball, and he rose up to hit the 3. He's got to keep hand above the ball the entire time.
Last foul was on Nelson, his 3rd for VCU. Bairstow from behind, over the back, and Reed Bailey will head to the line.
Tight curls by VCU in the out of bounds, gets in the side there. He draws the help. A lot of it with VCU because of Furman, Lawal, their 2 5-man. They really get after you when you drive the ball. I mean, they come full speed ahead. So being able to draw and then finding the open man. Now the backside of VCU's got to get down a little quicker, and we call it cracking back. Get inside there. They're a little late. Huffy was able to find Bailey there for the drop-off.
And Bailey pays it off by connecting on the first free throw. Zeb Jackson did not start this game. A usual starter when healthy for VCU. Jason Nelson heads to the bench. 2 for 2 for Bailey. And back in Sean Logan.
For Bailey, so more traditional 5, the non-shooting big, but a little more size down there, strength towards the block.
Team leader in blocks. The summit, a rejection by Hunter rotation, bringing in more of the defensive players for Davidson to make plays like that. Adam at the 4. Shot clock at 8. Huffman, lead guard. Defended by Bamasiel, off the screen. Runner off the side of the backboard.
They didn't overcommit to him on the drive, so he had to shoot that shot, which is that's not what he does.
Shulga uses the ball fake to draw the contact. Again, that's on the pass, not on the shot. Adam is guilty of his 3rd.
You can see right here, the drive by Bairstow then just finds Shulga and he gets him lifted. I almost thought he was going to, it looked like he was trying to shoot it.
Well, still go to the line for the 1-and-1.
The 1-and-1, but he should be maybe getting 3 shots out of it.
See the immediate call saying that that was on a pass, not a shot.
Now this is the first time I'm disagreeing with the official tonight. And Coach Odom has every right to be on him, saying he should be getting 3 shots, not 2. Because that looked like a shot attempt to me.
And Ryan Odom's seen a lot of Max Shulga shots, not just here at VCU, but their time together at Utah State.
No, he's done such. He did it obviously with the win at Virginia when they were the 16-1 seed with UMBC, and then obviously the job that he did at Utah State was phenomenal.
Offensive rebound, VCU. Bamasiel halfway down. Heartbreak. And we're still tied at 53.
Offensive rebound there by VCU. They missed a shot there. They got it kicked out. He had a great look, just went in and out.
Birkin gets space, steps back. His shot is halfway through.
We're even now. Both teams back-to-back shots, literally in the rim and out. So everyone's back squared away now.
It's like they both went in. 4:10 left. Fun one in the 8-10. Bamasiel shuffles. Berman back to Bamasiel. Bumped in the lane. He was pushed. No travel. Fans here want the walk. But our crew, Leslie Jones, Ryan Sassino, Anthony Eads say a foul caused the walk.
You can see here on the drive. Look, anytime there's a drive, 90 based on the rules on what they say, Chris Rathstatter is the head of the officials. Advantage offense, most of the time if there's a bump, if there's going to be a collision, a block, they're going to give the advantage to the offensive player. That is directly from Chris Rathstatter, who heads up the NCAA officials. But they're one really for 4 of their last 4 free throws. Just a front end 1-1 here. They've left a lot of points on the board last 2 possessions based on their missed free throws.
It'll be the double bonus going forward with VCU with the line.
And they are a really good free throw shooting team late in the game.
One of their best free throw shooting seasons in school history. Top 25 in the nation in free throw percentage.
And they've missed the last 3 basically.
Late shot clock again at just 1. Got it off, but a shot clock violation. They say it wasn't off in time. Asil Spadone yields the turnover. Down the stretch, Davidson tied at 53. Time to revisit the keys to the game, brought to you by Fresh Pet. And Coach, it looks like the teams have heeded your keys quite well.
Yeah, well, first of all, you're looking there defensively for VCU in the last 10 seconds of the shot clock. Now, they've still a high percentage, but they are scoring some. Part of that's also offensive rebounding too. They've got some second chances. But VCU's transition defense, I've been extremely impressed by them defensively. They've done a really nice job. And again, I've used this terminology a lot, building a wall. What that means is when you're building a wall in transition defense, because you're actually, defense has an advantage because the guy who rebounded or takes the ball to the basket is behind the play. So you're actually 5-on-4, so you're building that wall around the perimeter to not let any action where Davidson loves to get into the elbow. And then you see Basile here, he's been on fire, like I said at the beginning, last 2 games, literally standing on the pier, shooting in the ocean. However, tonight, he hasn't been as hot. Davidson's done a good job on finding him locating him early in transition. He's had a couple that's gone in and out. But look, there's 3:30 to go. He's on the bench right now, but when he gets back in, you know he can fill it up and light it up in a hurry.
VCU at stake, their 10-game true road winning streak. Meanwhile, Davidson's won 2 of their last 3. Two teams playing some of their best basketball, going at it. The game that's had 7 lead changes, 3 ties. VCU turns it over with the low pass from Shulga.
For the people at home, this is an intense game. It's a great atmosphere. Both teams are playing really, really well with great intensity. It's a really good basketball game.
Just joining us, Davidson playing without their starting center, David Skogman, out with a foot injury, and Davidson turns it over.
Nelson has done that multiple times this half, getting his hands in there for steals.
Shulga shuttles the pass in the lane to Lawal, who's bumped. Double bonus going forward for VCU.
That's Nelson's 3rd steal of the game. He's done that, just getting his hands in there. Davidson's had multiple times where maybe they've had an extra, try to one more dribble or held on the ball. Right there, Bailey's got it lower by his hip and allows a smaller guard like Nelson to get in there. 3 steals by Nelson in key times that have helped VCU come back when Davidson was making a major run on them to allow to cut into the lead and now to take the lead. Things that don't always show up in the box score. The steals do, but the change of the momentum by those type of plays.
And it's a trait that VCU has had for seemingly decades. 15-4 run for the Rams. They'll take a 2-point lead. By the way, Lawal, 2 for 2 with the line on that trip. He's just a 53% free throw shooter.
He made up for the other ones that were missed for the high-level percentage shooters.
Where does Davidson go when they need a basket? Horace Huffman, floater, front rim. Lawal with the box out, keeping Logan away from the ball.
Yeah, really good defense there. I thought it was really good half-court defense by VCU, and then to finish the play. So it's not just guarding the initial shot, but then you got to finish the play. With Davidson has hurt him on offensive glass. They did a great job there boxing out and securing the ball.
Max Shulga triggers the 3, front of the rim. Lawal went flying for the rebound, but tipped it to Huffman. Under 2 minutes left. Logan sets the screen, and Davidson calls timeout. Seemed to be a little bit of indecisiveness on the near side of the floor. So Matt McKillop uses a timeout to talk about it. His team down a pair. We have a good one in the Atlantic 10 with VCU leading by 2. And the Rams close out their road trip Tuesday night. They take on St. Bonaventure. Tip-off begins 7 Eastern here on CBS Sports Network. What a great one it's been at Belk Arena with Coach Josh Bassner. I'm Chris Lewis. So, Coach, you said at the top that it really does feel like a must-win for both of these teams where they are in the league so far. Makes these last couple minutes fascinating.
And even more so for VCU, Chris, because they're trying to hang right there with Richmond and Dayton at the top of the league. So this is critical, and to be able to, win or have a chance to win a league title, you have to win road games, Chris. And this is a tough environment tonight. And right now they're up 2. The reason they've been able to be up 2 at this point, they haven't shot it incredibly well. They've kind of got their butts kicked on the offensive glass. They've only had 6 turnovers. It doesn't matter what sport it is, Chris. If you don't turn the ball over, you give yourself a chance to win the game.
Well, you saw VCU, their struggles the last few years in close games, but they get the stop. And Bairstow lassos in the rebound with $1:20 left. VCU to try to go up 2 possessions. Bairstow bounces, a tug as Lawal rolling to the rim. That's the 4th foul on Adam. 2 free throws coming up. Coming up next, watch the competition heat up. The world's best bull riders go head-to-head in Houston. Don't miss PBR Unleash the Beast right here on CBS Sports Network.
PBR can wait. We want overtime, double overtime, triple overtime. We want to keep playing until midnight. Why not? It's basketball. This is a great environment that the students don't even have clothes on, for crying out loud.
I don't want this one to end either. Not necessarily for that reason behind the basket, but good luck for the 53% free throw shooter, Toby Lawal. He's made his last 3 from the line.
And hey, just shows you, stepping up. These are big possessions, big free throws, and he's hit all 4.
Wow.
And it's not easy when you've got the entire student section literally naked. And he's made all 4 of them. Incredible. Credit to him.
That used more of the rim than they had clothes on their bodies behind. 4-point game. Davidson needs a basket. They get it with a fall away from Adam. So he committed the foul on one end, gets the basket on the opposite. Timeout called. With 54.6 left. Still more to be decided in Davidson. VCU by 2. The bare naked truth about this one is one of these teams is going to suffer heartbreak. 2-point game down the stretch.
Absolutely, and it's back and forth, and you're under a minute here, and a good timeout by Coach McKillop after this basket to set their defense up. Because the last couple times down, they've gotten fouls. They fouled VCU, which put them to the free throw line. So they want to defend without fouling, and we'll see what VCU comes out with out of the timeout, what they draw up. Coach Odom, as I mentioned earlier, is one of the best in efficiency offensively and out of timeout actions. I would expect them to do something to find Bairstow and Shulga in some situation where there's a penetration and finding Shulga, whether it's a post-up. But you can see Davidson pressing here, trying to take some time off the clock to wear out some of their half-court offense. We'll see what they do if they can get the ball to Shulga. They've got Bairstow in the middle third, high middle ball stream with Shulga in the deep corner. They're going to maybe let Jackson get to the paint, and Bairstow playing behind.
Jackson zooms to the rim and gets fouled.
So, Chris, good action there, and you can see on the replay here, they got 2 corners filled, 2 good shooters, especially with Shulga, and then there goes Jackson. So you have Bairstow coming up the middle, and you got Lawal setting the pin down, which opens up that angle for Zed Jackson to drive it, get right to the paint with that explosive energy that he does, and he gets to the free throw line for 2 shots. And he was able to do that going to his left hand.
They called Huffman on the foul. Jackson's first free throw through. Second one would give them a 2-possession lead with 31.7 left. And Jackson's an 80% free throw shooter.
Credit to VCU, probably the 2 guys who, you know, aren't as often getting to the free throw line in Lawal and Jackson, and they've made 6 in a row. Credit to them stepping up, making big shots from the free throw line.
Davidson has 1 timeout left.
There is a go slip screen.
Huffman gets the foul drawn. It's the 1-and-1. So Huffman, a 70% free throw shooter, with it being VCU's 7th. And Jackson gets called for his 2nd.
Well, Chris, it was a slip screen there by Bailey. The ghost screen came flying up with great intensity. At the last seconds, popped out, didn't set the screen. The guy guarding Huffman turned it for a quick second to look, gave Huffman the advantage downhill, and he got to the free throw line with the foul.
A somewhat awkward release that he has improved throughout his time as a Wildcat. It's the first. VCU and Ryan Odom, who has multiple timeouts remaining, electing to use one before the 2nd free throw in this 1-and-1 situation. Now, some coaches believe that you call the timeout in between free throws, it decreases the percentage on the 2nd free throw.
Well, there's a few things here. Look, assuming he makes the free, make or miss, you're going to have to foul because the shot clock's off with just a little bit under 25 seconds remaining. So Davidson, who's not a heavy pressing type of team, is going to need to press, maybe get 1 or 2 traps, try to get aggressive traps. They can be extremely aggressive. And then once it crosses half court, you got to foul right away. But they're probably going to want to try to get a steal or 2 in the backcourt, being as aggressive as they can. Now, if they miss the free throw, you want to foul right away, because a lot of times on a missed free throw, who rebounds the ball? It's the big guy. Now, usually it's going to be Lawal, so we're going to rebound. You want to foul right away and put him at the free throw line. Now, he's made 4 in a row, but you want to play the percentages instead of him getting the ball to Shulga and then fouling. So if there's a miss, immediately foul, because usually the guy rebounding there is the big.
So there you go, LaWall. As Matt McKillop, I'm sure, instructed his team similarly in the huddle. So LaWall is one of the two down low for the rebound. Bairstow's a 76% free throw shooter for VCU. But first, Huffman misses. A battle for the board. It's into the hands of Shulga, who's an excellent free throw shooter. Huffman fouls him. That's a big miss in a three-point game, 20.8 left.
Shulga's a really good player, Chris, and he's had a really good game. He's been very efficient. And look at him in late and close game free throw shooting. I mean, he's literally 100%. I mean, he's just underneath it. I'm not great at math. You're smarter than I am. What is that,
that is not 100%.
No, but I just said basically.
It's close. I think that's 95.
Yeah, about 95. So, yeah, you got to help me out. I know some things on back screens, ball, but I don't know.
I know a little math, baby.
You're better than me than that. You're better looking. You're smarter.
I don't know about that one. Shulga at the line makes it a two-possession game. I mean, you saw that list. There really isn't many you want to foul on VCU. They're all great free throw shooters.
Everyone's a great free throw shooter. Maybe if the student section had clothes on, they'd be missing.
Maybe they should get some coats.
But it's a great student section. They've done a great job in this game. They've been outstanding.
15 seconds left, 5-point game. Step back, Huffman, rainbow three, short. Battle for the rebound underneath into the hands of Adam, and then he is fouled. It is a reach. Nelson thought he had a lot of the ball. 9.9 left.
Just the offensive rebound there. Long shots mean long rebounds, bad bounces. That hit the front of the rim and just ricocheted right off, right back into Hunter Adam there. VCU had a foul immediately. But, you know, free throws are just it's just like turning the ball over. It's a littlest thing, but they make such a big difference when it comes down to winning and losing.
Last foul, Bairstow's fourth. 9.9 left. Second free throw coming up. Adam, a 90% free throw shooter, limited attempts. And the substitution after the make to bring on Logan.
And a good sub there to let them set up their press. You see they're going to be in a really heavy press. They can be extremely aggressive, face guard all across the floor. Even if they throw it long, big deal. They got to try to get an intercept or a steal, and it's got to be maybe one quick trap, or if you don't have that great opportunity to get the ball, because the arrow is to VCU, so a tie-up doesn't help you.
With 9.9 left, a couple of timeouts for VCU. They use one. 3-point lead for the Rams. Under 10 seconds to go. Needing to get the ball in, and preferably into the hands of one of their many excellent free throw shooters.
Yeah, they've got to be able to get something where they really want to get the ball to Shulga, because, again, if there is a tie-up, it's still advantage to VCU based on the jump ball arrow.
So, another close game between these two here in Davidson, and the last couple have come down to the wire as well. You go back to 2022, that block, Brown Jones knocked it away, last second effort, no, as the Rams get the win 70-68. And then in the one last year, Ace Baldwin Jr. hit that contested jumper. That was with 15 seconds to give them the lead. Desmond Watson shot off the mark, last-ditch effort, no, and VCU tallied the win there.
I want to give a lot of credit to Davidson. With Skogman out, they've done a great job. They played at a high level. Great job by Coach McKillop. And I want to give a lot of credit to VCU to be able to hang around in a great environment here at the Belk Center. I mean, is it the center arena? Arena. Okay, so at the Belk Arena. It's been an electric atmosphere. The students have been great. The fans have been into it. And they've been able to hang around. Even when Davidson's made their runs, VCU has been able to just hang around and make the right plays and do what they've had to do just to stay within striking distance. And then they made the big plays late and made big free throws late to be able to put them in a position where they're winning the game. Just
saw the fathers of the head coaches who've been through these battles themselves, Bob McKillop, Dave Odom. 9.9 left. Bairstow to throw in. Nelson, Shulga. The closest to Bairstow. And we're at the baseline. Lobs, Jackson fouled. with 9.1 left, so just 0.8 went off the clock. And Jackson's an 80% free throw shooter.
It's a good call there. You got it up there, and he got everyone lifted. Good pass, good catch. He could have. He had Lawal down there wide open at the end. He fouled him right away. So, what I would tell you right now is he makes one or two. You're still in a two-possession game. But if I'm Davidson, you don't have to shoot a three. You can get it because either way, it's going to be a two-possession game. So, even if he scores his free throw, go get a quick basket. And you're back to a one-possession game and give it one more chance to try to get a steal or a missed free throw. You don't have to shoot a three, but you got to be as fast as you can down to the court to get to the rim. And VCU's not going to foul. They're going to let you get to the rim.
Those free throws, both perfect. 5-point VCU lead, 9.1 left. And coach, you prioritize speed here. Get the ball down the floor. They get it to Adam. 6 seconds, deflected, Huffman. Still on the deck, picks it up, but just 2 left. Gachera launches, that'll do it. VCU storms from behind in the second half and wins their 11th straight true road game dating back to last year. The longest active streak. 63-58 final. How about VCU and their stick-to-itiveness to not get rattled down by as many as 9 in the second half?
What an incredible stat. To win true road games is so hard to do. For fans out there who haven't been in, I'm telling you, to win a true road game in these type of environments is so hard. And for VCU, what a big win, because it keeps them right in striking distance. They can see it through their windshield mirror. Richmond and Dayton are not that far ahead of them. And look, Davidson has got to be really proud of their effort. They played really well. They were very high level. Without Skogman, guys stepped up, Gachera stepped up. Both these teams played at a high level. It was a really good basketball game.
5 straight wins for VCU after an 0-2 start to A10 play.